Latif, like Queen Latifah, but without the AH. It's not, is it connected
So I mean,
to it?
It looks good.
well, I mean, is it gonna?
Yeah, you got both of them.
Do the servants one, yeah.
So happy I came early.
Do you have the Wi-Fi password in there?
My name is Adesh. I'm a friend of Ethan's. Yeah, I'm just excited to be here and just see what everything's about. I grew up Catholic, but I've been focusing more on Christianity in the past year now.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Matt. I've been here before.
First time I see you. You have seen me
Actually?
before?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
I was there after you when you were there.
Oh, wow.
And here before. I was here when you were
I have
talking
a very
about.
bad memory, but you do have a very good memory. That was like a couple months ago.
You were here for when we were talking about the early church fathers too. I think. I was here for that as well. St. Ignatius.
This is the
Yes.
second, yeah, this is like second, third time.
Oh,
They were counting all the churches. I thought that.
I apologize.
No, it's all good.
Okay.
My name's Clayton. Ethan invited me. I grew up
Clayton.
Protestant.
Oh, it's another plate.
And I never been to like the Orthodox church before. So yeah, I'm just excited to see what you guys are about.
You know everyone. It's a pleasure and it's a blessing to have you all here with us today.
Is that the name of this?
Probably.
Oh yeah, it is.
So you all know the topic that we'll be speaking about today.
Have you seen the one I love?
Have you seen the one?
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. They send it to me.
It's a strong verse, but before we talk about this verse, we'll talk about
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm getting some ribs.
I just believe everybody. I'm one of those people.
We'll talk about actually a couple other things because I don't know if many of you have read the book of the Song of Songs for Solomon, and if you read it, not everyone can understand it the same way because of the language that's being used in the book of Solomon, or in that book especially. But it was written this way because we know Solomon gained so much wisdom and he was talking in a way that the world would try to understand it. But don't take the meanings literally, because I can tell you, if you actually try to use these words with a woman, you'll either get beaten up or you'll be turned away and refused, because some words are there you can't just describe a woman with it. So we'll understand that there are 4 or 5 characters in the chapters in the book of Song of Songs to Solomon. Welcome. Welcome back. That we'll see the bridegroom, we'll see bride, we'll see friends of the bride, we see the watchmen, and we see the garden. And everything that we just the 4 or 5 that we mentioned, they have spiritual meanings. It's not worldly, like when we read it without understanding. And it comes to mind when we actually read this book. The story, do you all remember the story in the book of Acts with the Ethiopian guy when he was riding in his cart and he was reading in Isaiah as a sheep was offered to the slaughter and so on and so forth, and he did not understand what that verse or what is going on, and the Spirit appeared to Philip and told him, go to him and talked to him and explained to him. So when he was walking by him and he heard him reading, he told him, "Do you understand? What are you reading?" And he answered and said, "How can I understand when no one can explain to me?" So we definitely need the Spirit in certain things, or in everything almost in the Bible. We need the Spirit to lead us, and we need the early church fathers and their explanations for us to try to understand things. Because if we go on our own and say, "I do not need to pray before I read," or "I do not need the explanation of the early fathers, or what the apostles have wrote or have said," then we are going to be strayed away, and we're not going to understand and have the same concept and meaning that is being said. So the Song of Songs is written by Solomon. And we are going to see an elevation, and I'm going to come to it later on when we speak, that we will see a great elevation till actually Solomon got to the book of Song of Songs. And this is considered a poetic and a wisdom book as well. It's both. And you will find that there are no commandments in it, and there is nothing that you're ordered to do. Nothing at all. If you read the whole book, you're not going to find a commandment, or you're being told to do something. But it is a divine love that God is showing us, and also the soul or the church is searching for that love as well, and will find that love when it comes and meets the bridegroom. So it is a story of love, and how both of them, they search for each other. Both the bridegroom searches for the bride, and the bride goes searches for the bridegroom as well. And if we go to actually chapter 5, I don't have, I can't get it.
Yeah, you do. You have the Coptic reader down there.
If you want to. And that will be able to switch easily.
I don't know.
No,
Okay.
You touch it, you have a video.
Chapter 5, you said again?
yes, chapter 5.
Supposed to.
If you read actually from verse 2 to 5, if someone can read out loud, verse 2 to 5.
I sleep, but my heart is awake. It is the voice of my beloved. He knocks, saying, "Open for me, my sister, my love, my dove, my perfect one. For my head is covered with dew, my locks with the drops of night. I have taken off my robe. How can I put it on again? I have washed my feet. How can I defile them? My beloved put his hand by the latch of the door, and my heart yearned for him. I arose to open for my beloved, and my hands dripped with myrrh." Myrrh?
Yes.
Myrrh? "My fingers with liquid myrrh on the handles of the lock."
So here, the bride is coming and knocking on the door of the, the bridegroom is coming and knocking on the door of the bride, and she was too lazy. She did not get up. She did not do anything, but rather, let me just get it. Should have gone. You guys are reading. But rather, she said, "I have taken off my robe. How can I put it on again? I have washed my feet. How can I defile them again?" So here is someone that is lazy, someone that actually represents us at many times. That we hear God's word, it comes to us, He comes and searches for us, and we can hear it loud and clear. But we are saying, it's not the time. I am not ready right now. I have other things in my life that I can't postpone. I cannot put it aside right now. I need to take care of these things, and then I'll come to you. But what happens when she decides to get up? I arose to open for my beloved, and my hands dripped with myrrh, my fingers with liquid myrrh on the handles of the lock. I opened for my beloved, but my beloved had turned away and was gone. My heart leaped up when he spoke. I thought I sought him, but I could not find him. I called him, but he gave me no answer. such a harsh verse. It is so harsh to the point sometimes we stand in front of it and say, didn't you, Christ, aren't you God who said, seek and ask and it will be answered, knock and it will be opened? So how can we read this verse and say, my heart leaped up when he spoke. I sought him, I could not find him. I called him, but he gave me no answer. Like here, the bride is calling him, the bride is truly seeking him, but there's no answer. Isn't that what we go through many times in our life? And when we say, I pray, but I do not have an answer. I seek God, I come to church, I do everything that you guys are asking me for, and I'm tired of praying. Don't tell me to pray anymore. Praying does not do anything anymore. Isn't that our life? Isn't this what we go through many times when we are seeking God, when we're asking God for something, but we find no answer at all? This is because there are different things that are happening in our life. Here is talking to the bride at night. Night represents darkness, and darkness represents sin. Because we said, when Adam sinned, he was away from God. His sentence was death. He was in the dark. So he created, and that gap was created. There was a big gap that was created between Adam and God. So here, because of the darkness, because of the sin that we're living in, sometimes we're not going to be able to hear God's voice, or we're not going to hear an answer, because there are blockages and there are things that is rooted inside that once we take care of it and get it out, then we will be able to hear his voice and he will answer us. But here actually, he went to the bride. So that means this is someone that is ready, someone that loves God. Many times also, the grace of God gets lifted up and his arm gets lifted up so we can taste him, so we can taste and know how living with God is really sweet and it's really nice. Because if we have this at all times, then it's hard for us to know and feel and depend on God. Because everything is there. So I'm very comfortable. You guys heard I have a story that I said a couple times, that one person one time met with the devil and asked him, what is the best thing that you would do to keep people away from God? And he said, give them everything. Make them comfortable. Everything they ask for, give it to them. They are not going to need to go and depend on God or go and ask him. So sometimes when we have everything, we don't remember God. When we have everything in our life, we don't appreciate God and we don't appreciate the person who's given us these things. But when it's lifted up and we don't have it for a period of time, we get to know what's missing. Not too long ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, during COVID, we took things for granted. But when we were not able to go out or go to certain restaurants or things like that, we felt how nice it is to be free to go to wherever we want to go, whenever we want to go. So God sometimes makes us taste these things to have us go, to build that relationship with God and to be able to love him and depend on him at all times. Here the bride says, I encountered the watchmen on their rounds of the city and asked them, have you seen the one I love? That's the title of our talk today. Have you seen the one I love? Watchmen here can be the church, can be servants, who that you're going to ask and asking them, have you seen the one that my heart desires, the one that I want to have? But Solomon, in the Song of Songs, I'm gonna skip this, or actually, this is an important one. This book used to actually be read on the 8th day of the Passover. Okay? Passover, because they were being saved from slavery, they were saved and they left Egypt. And here, actually, that represents also, the Passover represents the cross. Because we were saved and we were able to enter the kingdom once again. So here, the 8th day, that means we already passed, we already been saved, we're already living with Christ. So that is the relationship, and it's showing us here the relationship that we should have with God. It is something that nothing can break it or nothing can come in between. What is the one thing that we all would love to have in our lives? When we think, all of us together.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace, okay. What else?
Help.
Support.
Help.
Help, support. Okay.
Love.
Love. Who said love? Love. Love will bring peace. Love actually will bring many things. If you actually look for love, it will bring a lot of things. And we actually seek love through so many things in our lives. We even seeking with the people who we live with. We seek it from our friends. We would like to know how we're valued based on how much we're appreciated and how much we're loved. A wife, for example, would know how much she's loved by the gift that the husband will bring her, or vice versa. But is this really a complete love? No, it's not, because that means that you are waiting for something from the other person to get to know if that person loves you or no, and you're bringing something to someone else for that person to know if you love him or not. But true love, that you're not waiting for anything at all. And that is God with us. Does God ask us for anything? Does He ask for anything from us to do? The commandments, yes.
Okay.
But other than that,
Not really.
are you sure?
I mean,
Well, that's
Yes, He asks us to love, but I said other than the commandments. The only thing, and if you look in the Bible, the verse that God will ask you to give Him something is your heart. Give me your heart. He's not asking to give Him anything else other than your heart. So once we love Him, we are going to experience the true Christian life with God. Sorry, sometimes I run ahead of myself, so some of the things I already mentioned before. In this book, as I mentioned, it's a spiritual book, and what others say and think, some might not understand it, but because their minds are filled with worldly things. So we must seek wisdom to be able to understand and look for the depth of Christ's love for us in this book. And look also beyond the regular means. And as I said in the book of Acts, when the Ethiopian man was traveling and Philip explained to him I have to wake you up somehow. So
very nice.
that's what I do to wake you up. Now I know you're awake.
It had purpose.
So the purpose, as I just mentioned, of this is to see Christ's divine love for us. And also this book shows us our journey and the beauty of finding and living with God when you truly find God. Because the bride found God at the end, and she just said, I do not want to let him go. Please do not wake him up. I want to have him. But also, to get to know that this is spiritual, she did not keep him for herself. If you go to chapter 1, sorry, I'm jumping. They're all 8 chapters, but I'm jumping from one to another. Chapter 1, verse 4. It says, draw me away, we will run after you. So the bride is asking, bring me to you and we will run. So she's not going and she's not having him for herself only. No, she's actually having everyone share the bridegroom. When we have a relationship with God, when we have God in our lives, how do we share God with one another? How do we bring others to God and to get to know God and experience God? And God, out of his compassion and love for us, he turns away his face from what we do wrong. Just like verse 5 here. The bride is telling him, I am dark, but lovely, O daughters of Jerusalem, like the tents of Kedar, like the curtains of Solomon. And the bridegroom is seeing what's good in the bride and keeps mentioning about the good things that the bride has. So to feel love is great, is a great feeling. And to have this love and acquire this true love, you will be actually filled and you will be completed. So don't wait for anything and just try to have God in your life. Again, God does not need or wait for anything, for gifts from you or anything other than just your heart. If you actually go to 1 John chapter 4, verse 19. Can someone go to John verse 4, chapter 4, verse 19? 1 John, the epistle.
Can we read it?
Yes.
The woman said to him, Sir, I perceive.
No.
First time.
First John chapter 4.
That's what I have.
There are a lot of Johns.
19?
Mhm.
Now, this is the testimony of John when the Jews sent priests and Levites.
No. The epistle of St. John, it's the book from the bottom.
I got it.
It's towards the end.
Yes.
19.
I think it's 5th book from the bottom. Yes. Chapter 4, verse. There's no chapter 19.
We love him
Yeah.
because he first loved us.
Yes. So we actually learn to love is not because we know how to love, but because he loves us and that reflects on us, so now we're able to love. But we're not going to be able to love one another, a true love, without loving God first. Because God is love. And I'm going to go through actually 2 words of love in Latin that will show us that how much God loves us. So here, we are able to love him because he loved us first. I'll tell you about the story. There is one time a father and his son used to meet every day and walk and talk every day. And the father gave the son everything that there possibly can give. And he made him to have authority over so many things. And anything he asks for, he would give it to him. And at one time, this young man started to know someone. And who's his father introduced him to, actually. So his father introduced this person to his son. But all along the time, he was still close with his father. And he would still see his father, and he would still talk with his father and walk with him every day. Until one day, that person that his father introduced him to told him to do something, and because of that one thing, the relationship between the father and the son got disturbed a little bit. It was not perfect. Something happened. So, after whatever happened, the father came and asked him, "Where are you?" So he was searching for his son. Even though the son disobeyed the father, but the father still came and asked and was searching for the son and asked him, "Where are you?" So he was still trying to talk to him. So the father did not just abandon his son or decided that he just not going to care about him. But he was trying to do whatever he can do to bring him back and to save him from whatever he has done and from whatever happened. And until this day, the father is working and searching for the son and searching for his sons as well. You guys know what I was talking about?
Adam? I figured. Wow.
Adam. Okay? We'll see this question actually asked it twice in the Bible, but in a different way. He went and asked Adam, where are you? And he also ignored this slide. There was another slide there. Maybe I put it in the wrong order. There is another miracle in the New Testament, or there is a miracle in the New Testament that God has asked also, where have you put him? Can you guess? When Christ asked someone, two sisters, Lazarus. He was far away and he told the disciples he's asleep. And the disciples did not understand. And even one of them made fun and said, let's go so we can be killed too. They were funny in a way. They were kind of funny in a way. When you read between the lines, they were throwing jokes here and there. So, and he told them, he died. But he goes to the sisters and asks, where have you put him? Do you really think he did not know where he was? Why would he ask that question?
That's a good question.
Did you really think he did not know where Adam is? Or was? When he asked him, where are you? Again, someone that's dead 4 days, someone that just sinned and hid and ran away. God knows. But he's going to search like he was going to search for this bride. So the bride can come to him. God always goes and asks for us. It's up to us to open the door or just say like this bride, I already have changed my clothes. I've already washed my feet. I'm not going to be getting up or coming to you. He will never force himself on us at any time.
But you will give the opportunities to come back to him.
Correct. There will always, as long as you have a breath, there is always an opportunity for you to return. There will always be an opportunity. But the longer we're staying away from God, the harder we will be able to hear his voice. If we do not go on the streets like this bride and search for him, then that means I am okay with the life I'm living and I do not want to go for him. So I am just giving up and it's okay for me to live in any way. To go back to the first verse, when I said it was a harsh verse, when she says, I asked Rem and he didn't answer, and I knocked and he did not open. But we also see people in the Bible that were looking for something, and even in the midst of the sin and when it's complete dark, but they were able to find God. And there is one thing about them that they were able to find God. The prodigal son, for example. The parable of the prodigal son. He was away. He was with the pigs, the swans, and he was filthy. But what made him, when he says, I will rise now, and he took the decision, and he definitely did it. That's what made him different. That's what made him find the way out. That he got up and left and did not let anything happen to him. Jonah ran away, hid, went to sleep, did not care. But in the midst of all these things, he was able to find God as well. Because sin can be external or it can be internal. Sin can be external or internal. Okay? There is someone that loves sin and just sins, but his heart is with God. That person falls into sin because of weakness, because of maybe things around that person, but deep inside, this person loves God and wants to be with God and desires God. But others, when the sin is completely controlling the person's life and it's in their heart, then it's not able to find God easily. And that's when the prodigal son and Jonah were able to find God, but others, when they seek and look for God, they can't find him easily. Those are the characters or the people that I mentioned earlier on, that I said we have them in this chapter. Christ, which he's the bridegroom. The church, or us, our soul, is the bride. The garden, which is the heart and the soul of the believers. The fragrance, which is the prayers and the virtues you have. You also hear us, or you read doves, which means peace and purity. The watchmen, which is servants or services. And then the night, which is the spiritual dryness. When we are at night, when I said in the dark means sin, or we are away from God. Why is this book written? To show us the depth of God's love to us. Because many times we don't understand how much God loves us. We truly don't understand how much God loves us. So Solomon tried to explain it in his words of the love between the bridegroom and the bride, and the beauty of seeking deeper and much stronger relationship with God, and also being in communion with Christ through prayers, confessions, and repentance, and reading God's word. God searches for everyone and anyone. He will go and searches for everyone. But are you willing to listen to him? Are you willing to leave and follow? He will leave the 99 and come to you, especially you. He will come at any time. But are you going to have the discernment to recognize his voice and go to him? Or it will be hard for you to recognize his voice. And we will see in this book also two things. We'll see slavery, and we'll see us being free as well. Slavery to sin, slavery to our pride, slavery to our ego, slavery to anything that's controlling us, that's keeping us away, that is not letting us go and enjoy the divine love that God is offering us and wants to give us. And also the freedom that when he comes and reaches for us and comes to us, we will be able to see and feel the love of God. The great elevation that I was talking about earlier when I said we'll come to it, we'll see in the book of Proverbs. What does Solomon talk about in the book of Proverbs?
Wisdom.
Wisdom and what? It's true, but
Knowledge.
yes. What type of wisdom? What type of knowledge was he talking about? No, not clearly. In the book of Proverbs, he acts wisely by suppressing his desires. He is suppressing his desires. Then he talked to us about wisdom, which made him despise this world, and you will find this in Ecclesiastes. I'm sorry, like I destroy it every time I try to say that word. So we'll see in Proverbs he's suppressing his desires, but and he's explaining everything that's under the sun basically is not worth. Everything is beneath is not worth anymore. Okay? So then the relationship rises to its highest level, a level that we all want to have and desire to have and taste, which is in the Song of Songs. When he finds God and he just don't want to let him go. He do not want to leave him at all. So he was searching and talking about what's under the sun and what's beneath, and found everything to be not worthy, everything to be rubbish. Nothing is worthy at all. He did everything he can possibly. He was the richest of the richest. But even with all the money, with all the power, with everything he had, he said nothing is worthy. Everything is rubbish, basically. And we find in this book one, if not the best dialogue and eagerness and desire between the bridegroom and the bride, between the creator and his creation, when he goes and looks for his creation. That's remember when I said I put in the wrong order? So we went through that already.
Excuse me.
Also, there are two examples in the New Testament that we can see it. It's similar and kind of represents the story, or the 8 chapters, summarizes the 8 chapters of the Song of Songs. 2 females that have met Christ in the New Testament. Can you think of any? He went to someone that went to Christ, searching for
The girl that washed his feet.
good. That's one. The simple woman who washed his feet.
Wasn't the one that wanted her daughter to be cleansed from evil spirit?
The one who touched his
Good job. Truly, when you look at those 2 miracles, actually this came to me like maybe an hour before I come here. Like, wow, when I'm thinking about examples, and I'm like, those 2 miracles are, to me, summarizes the book of the Song of Songs. Someone seeking to be healed. Someone who's running. There are many people around her, watchmen. But she goes and sees, and basically in her mind, if I'm in her mind, have you seen Christ? Have you seen the one I love? I want to see him. I want to have him. I want to have him, and I do not want to let him go. And she goes and she just touches the tip of his garment, and she gets healed. And the other one is the sinful woman. She did not care. She also went, and she was known in the whole city that she was a sinful woman. But she went and washed his feet, and she went and desired that love, desired that life. And you will see actually in this story of the sinful woman, when you go and read this chapter, which we actually read a couple Sundays ago in the church, that Christ praised her before he told her, your sins are forgiven. He praised her. And he basically told Simon, you see this woman? I have entered your house. You did not wash my feet. But since I came in, she did not stop washing my feet with her tears and wiping them with the hair of her head. And she poured fragrant oil on his feet. So this is someone, this is the bride who is looking for the bridegroom to have this relationship with the bridegroom, and once found it, she would not let him go and she would not leave that home. So we see the work of the Spirit in the Bible, that we see truly those 2 women as something or a summary for the book of Song of Songs for Solomon. What do we learn? Seek and love. See God and love God. The 2 words that I want to talk about, I don't know why they don't want to appear together, is agape and philia. You guys know the meaning or the agape and philia? The 2 words. Agape,
Love.
Agape is love,
Love.
and philia is brother.
philia is love too.
Huh?
Well, no,
Philia.
agape is a different type of love. It's like,
Correct.
I don't know if it's love like a brother or if it's the other. I don't know if it's like a brother or
Ethos
there's
is the
another
law
one.
for.
Okay, let's bring 1 John chapter 4, the epistle, 1 John chapter 4, verse 8. It says, he who does not love does not know God, for God is love. Okay? Most of you probably have English only. But if you have the Coptic translation, it says, O Agabi. Agabi B. Okay? And this one, it says Agabi. Okay? If you go to, I just don't want to give the wrong. Actually, the Gospel of St. John, the very last chapter. The very last chapter, yeah, the Gospel of St. John, chapter 21, the very last chapter. Verse 15. It starts with verse 15. Can someone read verse 15 to 17?
So when they had eaten breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me more than these? He said to him, Yes, Lord, you know that I love you. And he said to him, Feed my lambs. And he said to him again a second time, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me? He said to him, Yes, Lord, you know that I love you. He said to him, Tend to my sheep. So which verse again?
17.
He said to him the third time, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me? Peter was grieved because he said to him the third time, do you love me? And he said to him, Lord, you know all things, you know that I love you. Jesus said to him, Feed my sheep.
Okay. Why the first two, Simon did not grieve, but the last one, Simon grieved? Why did not get upset at the first two, but got upset at the third?
You got irritated, maybe?
Yeah, why? I have two that will put their hands up. Three. Let's hear you
I
first.
could be wrong, but I think it's because the first two times he said, do you love me? He goes, I love you like a brother. And he's like, do you love me like sacrificial love? And then the last time, he makes a differentiation. He's like, oh. Okay, well.
But, you know, in English, you cannot differentiate.
Yeah.
But if you actually go to Coptic, you will see it clearly. The first two, he said, Agabi.
Yeah.
The last one, if you read it in Coptic, it says, Ikmi Imoi. He changed the word from Agabi to Ikmi Imoi, which is a different type of love. And that's why Simon Peter got frustrated and got upset or grieved.
Yeah, so
But when Christ asked him in the word Agabi, do you love me? That way, he did not answer him that I love you in the way that I will sacrifice my life for you. Okay? He told him, J it me. He did not say Agabi also, like the same word that Christ said. And that's why it's beautiful. Sometimes the Coptic or the Latin explains how strong the verses are. And that's why Christ changed the word, do you love me? Would you sacrifice yourself? When you read, you will find that when it mentions about God's love or Christ's love, is always the sacrificial love. It's going to always be again. Not it me and moi or it me. So it is something that he sacrifices himself for us. And that's the love that he has for us. Do we have that same love for him as well? Are we going to sacrifice our comfort, pleasures, whatever we have in our lives that's holding us up from loving Christ? He comes, like he went to Simon Peter, and he will ask you, do you love me? He says, yes, I love you. It says, do you love me? Yes, I love you. And then the third time, he might say, do you like me? Am I going to get frustrated? Or I'm okay because this is the way I want to be? Or am I going to be upset like Simon Peter? This is a person who denied Christ many times, but he still found Christ because deep inside he wants to have Christ. He was searching, he was longing for Christ, and he wants to have him and not have this separation. And that's why he got frustrated at the third time, because now Christ is he not gonna sacrifice? He's not going to come and look for me anymore. This is something I found online between the Philia and Agape. I'm not gonna go through it, but it's actually interesting when I was just looking for it. Philia is a friendship or brotherly love, but Agape is selfless, unconditional, and I would like to add to this sacrificial love as well. Here, it's a mutual bond between Philia is a mutual bond between equals based on respect and shared values. For example, whatever the example doesn't really matter. And then the other one is spiritual love extended. You just get to know. Like when I was actually looking, like not I wanted to show it in a different way, and I just said Philia versus Agape, and that's what came up to me. It's love extended to others, including enemies, without expectation of return. And that's what God's love for us. Okay? And we'll just do the biblical. It's Jesus describes Philia when he says, greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life to one's friend. But here in Agape, Jesus exemplifies Agape by dying for humanity while still in a state of sin, demonstrating a love not earned by merit. So here, this is such a strong love, and that is the love we should have for God at all times. That we are going to sacrifice whatever is holding me from being with Christ. The pleasures that I want to just have, and I do not want to let go because it's holding me back. Christ comes and meets us anywhere and wherever we're at. It doesn't matter where you're going to be at. He is going to come and meet and search for you. But are you willing to leave with him, or you're not willing to leave with him? That is the difference. In the condition we're in, and he still views and sees us as beautiful no matter what state or stage we are at. Free yourself and taste God's love. If you're lost somewhere, if you want to go to a place, you must find first where you're at. So, for example, if I go to another state and I am in a place and I want to go somewhere, I won't be able to go to where I want to go unless I know first where I'm at, to get the right direction. Because basically, if someone tells me, yes, I can give you direction, it's going to ask, where are you? So I have to find exactly where I'm at. So you have to look deep inside. Where are you at in your life? Where are you at with God? What's inside of you? Give an account of everything you have inside to be able to move and to be able to have the direction that will lead you to Christ, that will lead you to this sacrificial love, that will lead you to that love that when you see him, you say like the bride, I do not want to let him go. Do not wake him up. I want to have him for myself. Okay? So know where you're at. Know what's inside of you and clean up what's inside of you to be able to taste and be with God. Second one, search for others and share Christ with them. When she found Christ, she said, we will all run to him. We will all have him together. And that's what the church is teaching us. The apostles could have just stayed where they're at and said, we are saved. We do not need to do anything else. But they went and preached, and they were not afraid. They went to the world, and they did not care about anything. And did they take anything with them? No. Story actually about have they taken anything? You know, Christ told them, do not take a sword, do not take money back, do not take anything with you. But Peter, Simon, he had a sword with him when he cut that soldier's ear, right? Did Christ tell him to have a sword or a knife with him? No. But he did. Why?
He didn't fully trust. He didn't want to let it go.
He did not want to let it go. He was just still afraid. He did not depend on Christ 100%. But do you think Christ did not go to him? He went to him where he's at. Even though he denied him after that. But he still went to him. And he accepted his repentance. So if he went to Simon Peter, wouldn't he come to us? When he went to many saints, Saint Mary of Egypt, for example, who left and went to Jerusalem and lived the life she wanted to live. But when she wanted to enter into the church and she saw the icon of Saint Mary and wanted to enter, and there's something that's holding her from entering the church, did not go and reach out for her? He did. He went to her. And she gave something and said, if I'm able to go in, I will live a life in a pure way, and I will be with God going forward. And because she gave that promise, like the prodigal son said, now I will get up. Now I will do it. And that, again, I know I was talking to the guys here on Tuesday, those who came, that the theme or what I was trying to talk about last Sunday for the gospel of the four friends and the paralytic man, that they could have waited for Christ to finish his sermon and come out, right? They did not have to fight the crowded place and go on top of the roof and take the roof apart. No, they could have waited. But they acted now. They did not know if I'm going to have another minute, if I'm going to have another day. I'm not trying to scare you. But if I have this life waiting for me and this love waiting for me, why wouldn't I want to be living in this relationship? In this beautiful relationship that nothing on earth will be comparable or be compared to it at all. Live with God, and that's in John 1:46. If we can get the gospel, this is the gospel of St. John, chapter 1, verse 46.
so tired.
Okay, can someone read this? Marley, read the verse and explain it.
And Nathanael said to him, can anything good come out of Nazareth? Philip said to him, come and see.
What do you think? What do you guys think about this?
It's not a joke.
A joke? No.
Like they were serious.
It's actually serious.
Oh, okay.
Nazareth at that time, they were just living. They were away from God. They were living their life. And that's why he said, if anything comes good out of Nazareth. What do you guys think? Abuna, we live in this world. It's hard.
He's
Stuff.
saying, saying like don't be so quick to judge, like to Nathaniel. Like he's like saying, can anything good? He says,
Well,
"Come and see."
it has that, but I had something related to what we're talking about having seen the one I love. That if I desire God, if I desire this love,
Trust.
no matter what's going on around me in the world, I will go to God. I will go to Christ, and I will live that life. Okay? Where was Saint Mary living? Saint Mary, after she left the temple with Joseph, when she came back from Egypt.
Someone said wilderness.
Nazareth. Okay, Nazareth. Do you think Saint Mary's life changed from she lived in a way in the temple, and then when she lived in Nazareth, she changed things around? Or she lived the same pure, holy life?
Same.
She did not get affected by what's in the world. It's the same for us as well. Don't find excuses that I live in this world. They do these things. It's not because they do these things. It's okay for us to do these things. And that's why I chose this example. Okay? Out of Nazareth, something good comes. Yes. I can live in a holy life in the midst of filthy, sinful world. Another example, the three youth and Daniel. Where were they living? Someone talk. You guys are Babylon. What was going on in Babylon?
It's pagan country.
Pagan. What were they asking them to eat?
I don't even know
The
the
king's
story.
food. Okay? The king's food. Okay? But they were fasting. They said, Daniel said, no, try this. We're not going to eat this food. We're not going to share what you guys are doing. And try, come and try this. And see, how are we going to be after a while? They were much stronger and much better than those who ate the king's food. Okay? They did not say, it's okay, they took us, and God, now we're being basically living in slavery, and all these things are happening, and it's okay. It's the food that they give us, so we're gonna eat it. No. If they want to live with God, you will do whatever you need to do, and God will support you and will give you the tools to be able. But where is my desire? Where is my heart? What is my heart after? Is it just like this bride in the Song of Songs that I run in the streets, I walk by the watchmen, and I ask them, have you seen the one I love? Have you seen him? If you have seen him, please let me know where he's at. I am longing for him. I want him. How many of us long for God when we wake up? Or we long for many other things that after 3 hours of waking up, you look back and said, what have I done in the past 3 hours? What have I accomplished the past 3 hours? I'm talking about 3 hours. I'm not talking about your whole day. If I live with God those 3 hours, if I mention God's name once every 15, 30 minutes, 1 hour, wouldn't it be better than I don't have him in my mind or my heart at all? And that's what the bride is trying to teach us. When you find this divine love, when you find Christ, when you find God, hold on to him. Do not let him go. Because when you hold on to him, you will be able to live a beautiful life. Another example that came to mind, because just the year we're at, Saint Athanasius. Contra mundum. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but what does it mean?
Against.
Against the world. He went to him. The world is against you, Athanasius, or Athanasius. And he says, what? It's not. I am against the world. I'm going to stick by what is right. Nothing is going to take me away. Nothing is going to change me. If the world is against me, and I know I am right, then I don't mind to be against the world as well. I am against the world. When you live against the world, where is he now? How much do we talk about him? I'm not saying in a prideful way, but those who truly find God and find true love and stick with God, God lifts them up and praises them. Okay? So you have to know and understand that true life and the true meaning of living with God. These are, by the way, ladies and guys, these are not words. These are things to live. These are things to feel. These are things to taste. Okay? Living with Christ is not just words that I say in my prayers and I am done with my canon and I move on. No, this is truly living with someone. You know, a husband and wife, they might be apart, but they're thinking of each other. What is this? What is he doing? What is she doing? Have they eaten? Have they taken care of themselves? Have they done this? Have they done that? When you have someone that you truly, truly care for, okay, and you are in a relationship, or a brother or mother, or maybe my mother is sick and I know she's ill, wouldn't I be thinking about her all day long? How is she doing? How is she feeling? Okay, I went through that and I can tell you, it was always on my mind. God should be the same thing. I'm doing whatever I'm doing in the world, but God is living in me, and I'm abiding with him. He's not separating, I'm not being separated from him. So again, these are not just words that we say. This is a life that we live. This is something that we need to acquire in our lives. And then she says to him, draw me and we will run. When they see me running to Christ, others will run and will follow. The king has brought me into his chambers. We will be glad and rejoice in you. Okay. When are we going to be glad? When are we going to have the true joy, the true peace? I can tell you, not away from God, not away from your bridegroom. This is the bridegroom that talks to the church, that talks to every soul, that says, where are you? I want to rejoice with you, and I want to live with you. So this is a quick summary, and I know we wanted to talk about this verse, but I changed it last minute too, because every time I read, I can tell you, read this book, there are certain words and certain verses that gets me, that it shows how much God cares for me and how much He does for me, and I do nothing in return. I do nothing at all in return. And glory be to God forever. Any questions or comments?
Thank you for the lesson.
Well, this is the quietest
Very nice.
time I ever seen you all that quiet.
Mark and Mina are here.
And you. So, what do you think about the book? How many people have read the Psalms?